Welcome, everybody. And yes, just a quick follow through. I know we had some questions on the video from yesterday that we put out regarding the monthly signals as well as the algo optimizer, what the heck was going to happen with this Dow position. So there's the long position in the Dow. And yes, I said it eventually it'll probably get out. And again, it did. So what did it do overnight? Well, it did get a couple little bad trades. There's a little, as you can see, red is bad. Red means it went long and it got stopped out. It did not go short, and the reason it doesn't go short is because it didn't make within the criteria, or maybe the risk was too great, something of that magnitude. However, first trade today, long, beautiful exit, right where it should have gotten out. Nice profit target, and then what does it do? Darn thing goes long again, and it's currently long right now, so it's working very well, going with the dominant trend of the market. It's not afraid of going short. It does both, but again, it's right now open trade equity trading two lots, and eventually, as I said yesterday, we'll up the ante when we have multiple monthly signals of quality and again equity curve growth. So I don't like to press the bets, and I've been around for doing this for 38 years, and I've seen every system that's come down the pike. Pyramids programs, pile-on programs where it just gets long and long and keeps adding positions, which is really great until the day the market crashes and you're long like 32 contracts when your account can only handle maybe 4. A lot of sad stories about people that abuse leverage. Anyway, so that's the particular reason we could enhance this performance to be stratospheric if we adjusted again position size. And some people say position size is everything about making better profits. And that's true, but remember, we're dealing with leveraged product right now. So this is the mini Dow, and this is taking my signals, my work, and whether it's PPS, high close doji, our entry, one of the things that we have at our disposal is a mechanism with the Algo optimizer, which allows us to maintain both the risk-reward ratios as well as the trailing stop feature, etc., etc. So it'd be interesting to see if you notice here at this point in time, just as a quick explanation, where we got in, it got out, and as you can see, it's in, and these white lines in the sand, these are those last conditional changes. So either, here's a new one that just populated right there. So the Dow is still on the uptrend. It's still long the position, and we'll just monitor this and let you know how what it does on the exit. Now, in other, while we're looking at that and monitoring this and enjoying the upside here, one of the things I got to point out is that I also gave out the situation in Amazon, and I'd like to review that with you real quick. So as I reported, Amazon was short on a, as you'll probably guess, this is a low close doji setup, right? Had been long, and I mean, beautiful exit. Here's the interesting aspect of the Person Algo Optimizer. It gives you your entry, and it will either lay out whether you want it to or not. You have that choice. I've just put out what the orange stands for, your stop loss level. So if you go long, you know that's your stop loss, and that's the profit target. Now, a couple things can go wrong with the profit target. It may not get there. A reversal signal could ensue, or it could trail the stop loss, which is exactly what happened the other day. So let's review. It entered a new long position, and you see where the profit target was not achieved. That's the profit target, but it trailed a stop, and then it was flat for a little while, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, we get a sell signal, and it goes short the market. So the profit target, as you can see, is right here. Why didn't it get out? Well, it did. It got out right on when the profit target was met, it got out on the open. It did not trail the stop because the max profit target was achieved on that particular setup. And as you can tell, different from entry to profit targets are quite different on each individual trade. I mean, here's a trade where it got in and it got out picture perfect, and then a criteria was met, it got back in and it didn't do so great. But why didn't it maintain the long position all the way up? Because it hits profit targets, and that's a 60-minute basis. Now, the Algo Optimizer allows, as the word states, optimize. This is a great performance system here for a 60-minute trader using Amazon. So if you got weekly options that you use and you get these signals, maybe you use directional weekly options against the signals. So what I wanted to point out in all fairness is to say, hey gang, the thing did go short yesterday. I put that in the video, and I wanted to make sure that fair notice, before earnings the thing went flat. So it's currently flat, the market, and just thought you'd want to see the follow through and how it effectively works. All right, so let's get back to our mini Dow, which seems to be upticking. Eventually this thing will run out of steam, and we've shared videos before where you could see it run live in action, or recorded live in action, shall we say. This is something that we have available. It's through TradeStation, and if you are interested in more information on how to utilize, whether you're a day trader, a swing trader, trading stocks or futures or ETFs, this is a fantastic addition to any trader's repertoire, as well as someone utilizing maybe great signals and learning about algorithmic trading systems. Thank you for watching. We're going to continue to monitor this trade, and we'll post when it does finally exit. Another neat thing before we get into looking at that, everyone that got my Algo Optimizer, we gave out the settings, exact parameter settings for a VXX system trade, which had phenomenal performance since its inception, 2010. In fact, looking at the periodic return, as you can see, it does it does pretty well over time. So that's the key. Not every trade's a winner, but that's the whole thing about a system, is to be able to understand what you might have to live through with the drawdown, etc., etc. But with systems, whether you're going long the market or whether you go short the market, and current position on the VXX is short again, so we have another equity movement here. Where does it get to? I don't know, but we do have an idea, as I stated earlier, where our profit loss targets are. And in this particular trade setup, the stop loss is right here, right? Because that's orange. It just happened. It just initiated. And the yellow is right there because it's a brand new position. The longer bar means it's been in the trade, and it just kind of stretches out as each bar moves along, so that you have an idea. So the shorter bar means it was in a trade and out of a trade. The longer the bar means it held the trade a little bit longer. Anyway, so currently we know where our risk is, and that's the main profit target. Odds of this thing going all the way back down, probably slim to none, but it is the measured profit target. Stranger things have happened. It could take a week. It might not happen at all. We could reverse. It could trail a stop. There's a trailing stop feature. There's a time horizon feature in there. There's a max bar. There's all kinds of different functions in there to protect the money that we make, and that's the key with an algo optimizing system. So the exact settings and strategies were given in this system to all those who were lucky enough to get the Algo Optimizer. Now, let's look at that mini Dow real quick. We seem to be at a pause in the market, and why do I say that? Because we have a doji. You can barely make it out, but it's a bright blue candle right there. That's a doji. So we're seeing a stall, and my guess is that right now the system has got its built-in trailing stop function going to fire off if this thing starts to reverse down. So two things that can happen to a trader. One, when we get an excessive move, and if you figure you're up over 100 points in a Dow right now on this trade, pretty much, one can override the system and just get out. So you have that flexibility with the system. Some people argue that kind of messes things up, but I always find that sometimes discretionary input can also be helpful, and especially when you take in consideration what our average true range is. So if you're up 100 points after a market's already rallied 200 points, you're in a 300-point upswing type of situation when average true range is around 300 points. Why wouldn't one want to override the system? So that is available, but as it is, we're letting this thing run right now, and again, we'll keep you posted. And I know a lot of people are more interested, and they go, the mini Dow. I like trading S&Ps as more volume. And as I stated before, the S&Ps has a lot of trading systems and a lot of people out there we're competing against for our bid and our ask. Yesterday, this was very similar in the Dow. The system went long, but it got out a little bit earlier. And again, nothing happened, and it went long. It got stopped out. It had a couple bad trades, no doubt about it. And it did go long, as you can see. It did, and it almost hit its profit target, and it had a trailing stop feature. You can see profit target here was reached, and the trade is exited in the S&P. So again, nice trade performance in the S&Ps, but the mini Dow contract has been a better performer for us, and that's why we've been posting this over the last month. In fact, if you take a look at the intraday swing of the same day, that's today, February 1st, the move has been accelerated in the Dow contract. There's been better performance on the Dow contract. So, I think traders, if you're interested in money, don't be, blindsided by saying, I only want to do the S&Ps. You got to be where the money is if you're going to see better returns. And I think that's one of the things that we've tried to help train our traders is to find where your money is best served. What product should you be trading in? Should you be in NASDAQ? Should you be in Russell? Most people say, well, I don't like the Russell because they don't understand it. Well, it's real simple. Get to understand something like that. If you're a trader, you should know everything there is to know about a product that you're trading. Otherwise, that makes the difference between a novice and a professional. A professional gets to understand what a volatility trade is. A professional gets to understand about learning. It's not what you like, it's about what gels with you, true, but it's also where the money flow is and what you can do, or at least put the odds in your favor. And that's what we train people and try to help them to understand. Another technique or tip while we watch the trade mature and literally go ballistic in terms of its open trade equity profit right now. I mean, we went from about 14.8 to close to 16 and change. So moral of the story is, do you see this last conditional change, gang? It's kind of like the James gang, right? No, the last conditional change. If you see the last conditional change, if the system for whatever reason doesn't kick into a profit, or you feel nervous about the trade, let it work until possibly you get a 5-minute close underneath that last conditional change. If the market then gives you a reason to say the trend is weakened by virtue of a close underneath that white line in the sand, the last conditional change, then you can exit the trade as well. But, part of trading systems, two things. Are we out of the norm of a profit on this move, considering of where we're long from and this dynamic bull market? Anything's possible. So we are monitoring it for you, and continue to share with you the structure of why this is such a beneficial, incredible product for retail traders that may not have access to algorithmic trading systems. Or we just had a new closing high bar on a 5-minute basis. That's that orange candle right, or orange bar. We can change it real quick to candlestick so you can see the difference. Might be a little. So there's the orange bar. New last conditional change. It's almost like a gift that keeps on giving as far as equity performance. But then I don't like to look at the equity performance, because you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have good trades, bad trades. The thing is performance, steady performance over time. It's like this. This was a bad trade, right? It got long here, but it got out when it with a small loss, and then when it catches a trend, it's going to do something that most human beings don't want to do. Hold on to the winners until the market tells you to get out. Right now, this is not said to get out. We just keep creating these little white horizontal lines. These are my last conditional changes. The part of the I guess technical observations that I wrote about 14 years ago in my first that book called Candlestick and Pivot Point Trading Triggers, the LCC. Anyway, it's an integral part of what we try to use in a trading system as well. All right, before we could blink, wow, what a special event. As you can see, the profit target maxed out, and that's it. So this is kind of a cool thing, and it just shows. Now we'll kind of see where things go. I'll get this to you guys in due time as far as further explanations or follow-up as to new signals. But I mean, just outstanding, just to, I think from any viewer watching this to see how is this thing capable of maintaining the structure? What makes this work? Remember, algorithmic signals come with a defined, should, at least this is a day trade system, this isn't a buy and hold, should come with a predetermined exit strategy. Either stop me out if it hits a normal risk reward ratio figure within its ATR, average true range over time. And that's what system development is all about. I mean, they've been doing this for 38 years, so a lot of you appreciate the work that we did with our PPS indicator on Thinkorswim, and use that. And of course, the teaching that we've been doing around the globe, and as well as a lot of the Money Show and Traders Expos. So I hope you found value out of this. This is an exciting day for us here at Person's Planet. Another great trade for the Algo Optimizer. Thanks for watching. And last but not least, I should mention, and you already know where to find this on Person's Planet, just go to the website. Let's share that. Yeah, right here. Just you're already on the website watching the YouTube, so you just go to Indicators, Algo Optimizer, Person's Indicators, Algo Optimizer, and you can read through and find out more about it. Thanks, everyone.